This was my first like talking to you videos that I've posted on this channel. So I'm a little nervous, but I just thought it might be more helpful to talk through this as opposed to doing a voiceover, because it just is. One of the first things you need to look at when you're looking for lashes to put on is the band. Now when people say band, it just means the part that will be closest to your lash line. So here is one example, and if you can see right here, there's no black band, so all you see is like the hairs attaching to that sticky part. So that's a good example. There's another one where you don't really see the line on the actual lash band. A good example of a thick lash band. If you can see here, that is really black. If you just happen to not place the lash right on the lash line, that's something that's going to be very, very just obvious. The first thing anybody's going to look at is that band. So number one is to just look for a really thin band. Different eyelashes for different eyes is hard because it's all up to everyone's preference. So, and it's also up to how dramatic you want it and how subtle you want it to look. So I would just start off with, at least to practice, with a very thin lash. So for instance, these might be a little bit dramatic to start off with, especially if you don't place them right. So hold off on those. Some like this, where the hair is actually really, really thin. Another good pointer to start off with is to use just end lashes. So that's what I'm going to do today and show you. But if you look at any of my other videos, you'll see me applying some of the thicker lashes. I think my Nicki Minaj one had a really thick eyelash band. So that's another one to look for. Everyone, I think, suggests the clear glue. The good thing with the clear glue is that if you mess up, it's hard to see where the glue is, but I prefer the black glue. It hides the band better. But that's just my preference, and it's actually waterproof. If you have really watery eyes, if you're going to a wedding or you're gonna cry for some reason, use a waterproof one. And this you can get at Walgreens, Ulta, Mac stores. Like, you can get them anywhere now. I've already done my eye makeup and everything like that. You have to be a little bit careful with the band by pulling gently. You see, I didn't pull gentle enough, and I ripped some hairs out. If you're first trying this out, just make sure that you have like maybe a towel or like a t-shirt, something down, where if you happen to drop it, you can find it still. Because when I started off with these, I always lost them, then I would have to always reuse some new ones. And just observe the shape of the lash band. So here it goes from small to small. Some lashes, they taper out and they go bigger. For instance, these lashes, they go from small to big. When you're putting those on, you have to make sure that you're putting them this way. The smallest lash should be on the inside and the wispy part should be on the outside. But what I like to do with these is cut them in half. And I just use clean nail clippers. Find the middle and cut it in half. That was the glue that stuck up. So now you're left with two end pieces. Now just put a bead on, just a lip liner. And grabbing that lash from the lashes, just running the band. Another way you can do the glue application is just by going straight from the tube, which is what I usually do. Bubble, then just drag it. Don't squeeze any more than that though. Let the glue dry. With the black adhesive, it's gray when you apply the glue, and then it gets black as it dries. So that's one way to tell if it's drying. So just wait. You could blow on it, use a blow dryer, and then just click on the cool button and just kind of go along the lash line. It dries so much faster. Really quickly though, you need a mirror, a small mirror. What you don't want to do is look straight, because it's going to be really hard to lay the lash right on top of your lash line. Just make sure you're looking down, because that's going to keep your eye open, and if you blink, it won't really mess up the band being placed on there. Because if you're a beginner, definitely put eyeliner first, because I think it'll hide any kind of mishap that you may get. I'm not putting it at the edge where it comes down here, because then it's going to really poke your eye and it's going to get in the way of the skin. So again, it just depends on what kind of eye shape you have. I'm going to go a little bit further right here as my end. Just going to attach that to the skin. And then just use your finger to press it down. You can also use the ends of the tweezers to press it down. So there's my lash applied. It's really hard to see because this is a really thin lash and a thin hair. I'm just going to wrap the lash. Before you close, just make sure that you have that, and just crimp the lash a little bit. Not too much, because then it's gonna bend and you don't want it to look bendy. Mascara on top of it so you guys can see the difference. You could definitely use eyelashes over and over again as long as you're keeping them clean. So when you're done pulling them off, just put some, pull apart that glue, and then it'll be good enough. But if you put mascara on, it doesn't really keep it clean, so I wouldn't reuse these. Another thing that I like to do right before I leave is just to kind of push the lashes up or to curl them again. So you can always use your fingers if you're trying to stay awake, just go like this and you're good. I hope you guys found this helpful, and this is for my kindergarten / preschool TA that asked for this video, and she's like, it would be so helpful if you can help me with it. This takes so much practice. You guys have to understand that it took me forever to do false lashes. I think it took me a solid year to really get comfortable with lashes. That is my kind of demo / teaching guide.